First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, and double honors to the other bishops and apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. So today's lesson, I wanted to go into health and going into how that's one of the most important things we should be focusing on, right? Taking care of ourselves. Because right now in this captivity, this devil is having a strong agenda, right? He's pushing a strong agenda to lower the testosterone of men, right? Make men effeminate. Um, he's destroying the people through the food supply, right? All these foods with high estrogenic values and just absolutely cancerous, right? Wrecking inflammation in the body. That's what all these foods pretty much are, right? With these seed oils, the vegetable oils, and all types of things that he adds. It's ultimately killing our people. So one of the best ways we can combat that is by making sure what we're eating is natural and that it has the least amount of preservatives possible. Okay? So let's get some scriptures real quick. This is Ecclesiasticus 30 and 15, and it says, "Health and good state of body are above all gold, and the strong body above infinite wealth." Right? Having a good body, right? Physically fit, in shape, heart that actually works, pumps blood, and does all these things is more important than gold, than wealth, because if you're not healthy, if you're not even alive, how are you going to enjoy the gold? Right? It doesn't matter. All the things in the world don't matter if you're dying. Okay? And if we keep reading the next verse, it says, "There's no riches above a sound body, and no joy above the joy of the heart. Death is better than a bitter life or continual sickness. Delicates poured upon a mouth shut up are as messes of meat set upon a grave." But yeah, no riches above a sound body, and no joy above the joy of the heart. And one thing about the body is it's synergistic. Synergistically, it works synergistically, right? It's all working in unison. So if you're eating shitty, you might notice that your mental is off, right? Um, your spirituality, the spirit is off. It's not that strong. Whereas if you're eating cleaner, you'll notice that you have less brain fog, right? You're sharper. You can recall things easier, and everything's just on that flow state, right? It's coming way easier. And that's because it goes back to everything working in unison, right? Whatever you put in your system, your body's gonna reflect what you put in it. If you put some heavily processed food in your system, it's gonna cause the body to break it down. It's gonna be a very rigorous breakdown, and all those pollutants are gonna go through your body and affect your body negatively. Okay? But if you put things that are natural, that are healthy, right, haven't been altered, and they come in their original state, all those things were meant to be benefits to us, right? Let me get that scripture. This is Ecclesiasticus 38 and 4, and it says, "The Lord hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them," right? Because all the fruits and vegetables of the earth, they all have a certain type of use, right? They all do something different, right? If you're feeling sick, you can use honey and lemon and garlic and all these things, and it'll heal you, right? Everything has a purpose, and we have to take advantage of that. We have to be wise in these times with all the evil that's going on, how they're trying to kill the men, right? Lowering the men's testosterone every single year. Every single day, they're coming up with new ways to kill off the men of Israel and the woman and the child. So one way we can do that is by watching what we eat, right? Make sure you're not eating no damn McDonald's or Burger King's, Wendy's, all these fast foods, because the problem is that they use very processed meats, and they cook their foods in vegetable oils, which is extremely inflammatory to the body. And if you actually look at it, all disease comes from the inflammation of the body. You can search that up. So let me get the next scripture I have. This is First Timothy 4 and 8, and it says, "For bodily exercise profiteth little, but godliness is profitable unto all things, having promise of the life that now is, and of that which is to come." Right? Bodily exercise profiteth little, but godliness is profitable unto all things, which is saying that You can work out, and yeah, it'll benefit you. But the main point, the main profitable thing to do is to be godly. Okay? But I wanted to bring this out because it still mentions that bodily exercise is profitable, just not on the comparison of being a godly man. But we have to implement that too. This has to be part of our regimen to stay healthy, is exercise the body, right? Because that's what the body was meant to do. We weren't created to sit around for 8 hours a day at a desk and to just be oxidized, right? Our blood just becomes stagnant because we have to constantly be moving our blood, be moving around, be active for our body to stay healthy. And working out daily is part of that, right? You'll notice you start if you're feeling in a rut, right? And you get that energy in you to just go work out, you will instantly feel better after that workout, no matter what. Even if you drag yourself, even if you have a terrible workout, you'll still feel better than before you went to the workout, right? And there's reasons for this. There's neurological mechanisms in the body that uh, happen when you work out, right? There's certain types of releases that heal you, okay? So you have to keep that in mind. But I wanted to go into the benefits of olive oil. This is one thing I learned from the apostles is the benefits of olive oil because the olive oil has a primary component ingredient uh, which is called polyphenols, and these are extremely beneficial to the body. Right? Let's read some of the benefits. It says protects against pain and inflammation. Okay. Um, Polyphenol-rich olive oil can reduce inflammation and pain in your body. It contains oleocanthal, a polyphenol with pain and inflammation reducing effects, similar to the commercially available pain-relieving medicine ibuprofen. It also contains hydroxytyrosol, a polyphenol that's a powerful antioxidant to protect eye, skin, and other body tissues from damage, right? And how I just went to, all disease comes from inflammation, and olive oil is very good at combating that. Let's just go through these quick though. Bone health and strength, right? Boosts the immune system and reduces allergies. Reduces your heart disease risk. Lowers blood pressure. May protect against stroke. May reduce the risk of Alzheimer's and other brain diseases, right? Because of the polyphenols. Improves gut health and supports healthy bacteria. Reduces the risk of certain cancers. May promote mental health and boost mood. May lower your type 2 diabetes and diabetes and pregnancy risk. May aid weight loss and maintenance of healthy weight, and may help you live longer, right? And when you look at it, this is one thing that you commonly see about mentioned in the Bible is olive oil, right? Another thing mentioned is honey and milk, and these are all things that are profitable, are beneficial to man, right? These are all foods that are lawful and are can help you. But one thing I wanted to point out about olive oil that I learned is that a lot of the you have to make sure you're buying the correct olive oil, or else it's not going to have the benefits that were listed here, right? Because one thing about the olive oil that is sold on like the Walmarts is the normal gray value olive oil does nothing, right? It's rancid. And if you actually look on the back, it's been imported from several countries. It's a mixture of olive oils. It's not from one source, right? And a lot of the time it's rancid. It doesn't have the benefits anymore because once you extract the olive oil, there's a certain time period that it has to go through, a certain expiration date pretty much before it goes bad. And so knowing this, you have to actually go and invest in a higher quality olive oil, right? There's a section always in Walmart's where it's the more expensive olive oils. And make sure if you're going to buy one, you get it from one source, right? Like the one I have right now is from Sicily, and it shows the where they got it, the date they got it, and when it's going to be good till. But that's one thing to point out is that not all these olive oils are the ones are not all these olive oils are beneficial. Okay, but now I wanted to talk about testosterone because this is one of the things, one of the ways that talking primarily to the men, we can improve our physical health is testosterone, right? Because this is the actual chemical, the hormone that makes a man, right? And the more testosterone we have, the more manly we are. That's why these devils, right, Esau Edom, so-called white man, is trying to reduce the levels of testosterone of men in the entire country to ultimately have a more effeminate man, which is easier to control, right? Because a masculine man is very, it's not easy to control a masculine man, right? To tell him what to do, right? To make him change his mind, his actions. It's not very easy to control that type of man. Whereas if you have an effeminate man, right, pretty much a man that acts like a woman, it's very easy to control them, right? So this is one of the things they're doing to pretty much keep Israel oppressed. But let's read the ways we can improve testosterone, right? Exercise and lift weights. Exercise is one of the most effective ways to prevent many lifestyle related diseases. Not only that, but it can also boost your testosterone levels, right? Because if you train intense, right, your body releases testosterone whenever it gets a certain type of stress, right? If you're putting your body under salake, let me speak more controlled. If you put your body in a lot of stress and you're working out your muscles to near failure, your body reacts by pumping out large amounts of testosterone, right? That's one of the mechanisms. And the benefits of testosterone is being more manly, right? You grow more facial hair, um, uh, elevated sexual drive, tons of benefits. But it says another way is to eat protein, fat, and carbs. And one thing this made me think of is that our people have been lied to, thinking that fat is bad, when in reality, fat is essential for the conversion of testosterone. To actually have testosterone, it comes from fat, right? From cholesterol. And our people have been told that cholesterol is terrible for you. But it's actually the opposite. Cholesterol is super good for you. It's the building block of testosterone if you actually look into it. Next way to boost testosterone is to minimize stress and cortisol, right? Because when you're stressed, your cortisol levels go up, and cortisol actually reduces testosterone, right? It's like a balance, right? If one goes up, the other goes down. So if your cortisol levels are going up, your testosterone is going to go down. That's also why a good thing to combat this is ashwagandha, because the mechanism of ashwagandha is to actually lower your cortisol, and in turn it boosts testosterone. If you're a person that is very stressed, right, that's a good supplement to take, a good herb, right? And this one says increase vitamin D intake, right? Because that's another thing that can ultimately be hindering your health is not having enough vitamins in you to actually support a healthy amount of testosterone, right? Because if you don't have the building blocks to even build the hormone, you're just gonna be deprived, right? You're gonna be feeling shitty, and you're gonna experience all the side effects, not side effects, but yeah, the side effects of low testosterone. Okay, it says consider taking supplements, right? Zinc, vitamin D, all these things, ashwagandha, how I said, ginger, saw, palmetto, all these things help with testosterone, right? Going out there in the sun when it's sunny uh, is very good for you. You can get vitamin D3 from that. Get plenty of restful, high quality sleep. Yeah, this is very important because and a lot of healing comes from sleeping, right? A lot of the regulation on a day-to-day basis comes from having a good night's sleep, right? If you don't have proper sleep, you'll find that the next day you're not functioning properly, right? You don't have the same amount of strength, the same amount of energy, and this is directly linked to sleep. It says avoid estrogen-like chemicals. Yeah, and this is what I was talking about earlier. How this devil has been pumping the foods with estrogenic compounds, right? High levels of estrogen. And when a man eats these foods that are high in estrogen, it lowers your testosterone, right? Because estrogen and testosterone work on a balance, right? You need estrogen in your body, but if it gets too high, it starts attaching to testosterone and binding to it and pretty much taking it away. without getting too technical, it pretty much lowers your testosterone levels. So this is something we have to be aware of. And one thing I mentioned also is the seed oils, right? Vegetable oils. These are very high in these estrogenic like chemicals that lower your testosterone. And all these fast food places use vegetable oils. That's why I was pointing that out. It says watch your alcohol intake, right? You don't want to be out here drinking heavily, right, every single day because it has an effect on you. But the bottom line is that I'm not going to read that. Bottom line is we have to do what we can, right? We have to try to boost our testosterone as much as we can to combat this devil, right? Well, I was watching one of the brothers and they were going into how the men of old, right? The men years ago that the Bible speaks about, they were very strong men, right? And their testosterone levels were probably through the roof. That's why you hear of all these great acts, these great acts of strength that they have, because they were eating natural foods, never polluted, right? And they were being active. Because how I'm gonna read you right here, it says testosterone. Based on this, average testosterone levels in men are declining by 1% every year, give or take. So 50 years ago, the men had 50% more testosterone than the average man today. Think about that, right? That's crazy. So imagine the men of old and how manly they were, and the strength that they had, right? The health, the the wellness that they had, and that's what we're ultimately trying to achieve, right? We're trying to be like the men of old, walking in the old paths. So, but the point is that health and good state of body are above all. And we have to keep that in mind on a day to day basis. Keep in mind what we're consuming. Keep in mind uh, who we're hanging out around with, right? All these things that can influence you to just go off, right? Being physically active, hitting the gym, setting a routine, being disciplined, right? All these things are profitable. And like it says, bodily exercise profiteth little, but at the end of the day, it still profits. And how this world talks about um, those little gains every single day. When you look at those gains after a year, you've had a major progress, right? Those little dubs add up at the end of the day. So it's better to catch some dubs than to catch nothing. We have to constantly be trying to improve ourselves. But just wanted to hit that topic. Was all over the place pretty much, just bringing out some information and going into how everything that's been created by the Lord has a purpose, right? Everything, all these plants, these fruits, they have a purpose and they're good for you, right? And how we have to stay active and watch what we eat, right? But just wanted to go into that real quick and bring out some edifying information. But with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to the elect. Shalom.